4-belt system and the first undisputed champion at 154 pounds in this 4-belt era. Again, it is Saturday. It is May 14th, live on Showtime Championship Boxing from the Dignity Health Sports Park in Carson, California. It is the main event, the rematch of Charlo versus Castano. It is headlining, and it's brought to you by Premier Boxing Champions. Listen, the Showtime Championship Boxing broadcast will begin at 9 p.m. Eastern. That is 6 o'clock Pacific time. And it will also feature the rising welterweight star, Jerron Boots Ennis, taking on the unbeaten Canadian Castillo Clayton. That's an IBF welterweight title eliminator. It's the co-main event. And then we're going to kick the broadcast off with Mexican contender Kevin Gonzalez putting his unbeaten record on the line against Puerto Rico's Emmanuel Rivera. It is a 10-round super bantamweight attraction. But again, it's really the main event is what all eyes, everyone will be watching as Charlo and Castano will do it again and run it back. This fight is being promoted by Lions Only Promotions, TGB Promotions as well. And listen, that venue has become magic for the sport of boxing, obviously for Showtime as well. And people want to know how can they get tickets. You can purchase your tickets through AXS.com. Again, AXS.com to get tickets to be in the house. You certainly want to be in the house. We call it the Punch Bowl because it always brings a great atmosphere. It was an instant classic. The first time these two met, that was in the summer of last year, July. Charlo, Castano, they went toe-to-toe for 12 rounds, and it was on Showtime Championship Boxing, back and forth until in the end, it was ruled a split decision draw. Each fighter believed that they had done enough, though, to win the fight and have their arm raised to be undisputed and will look to leave no doubt in the rematch. So without further ado, let me introduce the fighters from the main event. And we'll start with the unified champion. He's known as the Iron Man, 34, 1-1. He's got 18 knockouts. He is the WBA, the WBC, the IBF super welterweight champion of the world. He's Jermell Charlo, the pride of Houston, Texas. And of course, the man he will be facing is Brian Castano. He is the WBO world champion, 17-0, unbeaten, 2 draws, and 12 knockouts. Gentlemen, can't wait to see you two back in the ring. Jermell, let me start with you. I think the first question is, why will the rematch be different this time?
I mean, everybody want to know why the rematch is going to be different. I'm considered a puncher. I'm considered a boxer. So I got some things, some tricks I'm going to bring out the hat this time, you know. I hate that I didn't close out the fight the way I should have. And one thing Brian Castano know is, you know, he got his hands full again. And this time I'm going to be better, stronger. I'm going to be faster, be more relentless. I'm going to be the old school Jermell Charlo that y'all know of. Simple as that.
Brian, let me come to you. Same question. Mel says he's going to be bigger. He's going to be stronger. He's got a few new tricks for you this time around. You tell us why, champ. The rematch will be different.
Bueno, Brian, la pregunta es la siguiente. ¿Por qué esta revancha crees que va a ser distinta a la pelea original? Jermell dice acá que vas a tener las manos llenas con él, ya que él va a pelear como el Charlo de antes, como que no te va a dar respiro.
How you guys doing? What's going on? We're going to talk after the press conference. This is live.
Yo creo que él sabe que soy un rival difícil. Él sabe que la primera pelea la perdió. Y nada, yo voy a hacer mi trabajo. A mí no me importa si viene a hacer el Charlo de antes o el Charlo de ahora, a mí no me importa. Yo voy a hacer mi trabajo que vengo haciendo día a día y peleas son peleas. Yo hablo arriba del ring, a mí no me gusta pelear abajo y nada, voy a hacer mi trabajo. Yo creo que él sabe que adelante tiene un guerrero de verdad y y le va a costar. Haga el trabajo que haga, yo voy a hacer mi trabajo.
Here's a question.
Charlo
Does the
knows
chat
that he's gonna be the one that has
hold
his
on?
hands full. And the fact that I won the first fight anyway. I don't like to talk outside the ring that much. I like to talk inside the ring. But I can tell you what, I'm a warrior, and I'm gonna bring my own relentlessness to inside the ring to show that I'm worthy of a win on Saturday. So regardless of what Charlo may say, new school, old school, bring it on. I don't care. I'm gonna be ready for whatever challenges come my way.
Mel, at the Spence fight, you talked with the media and you said, I'm going to knock Castano out this time. You know, the last time you did say that. The last time you had a rematch, that was against Tony Harrison, and you did just that. Tell us why you believe this time it's going to end in a stoppage.
Because you don't give people like me opportunities again. You don't let people come in the game, and because I know what we fought for our whole life. And if you get an opportunity, being a brother like myself, you gotta seize that moment and that opportunity. I'm dead in focus, laser sharp right now, and I've been grinding since the complaint about your little bicep. I've been grinding. I didn't never stop. So what you did, you gave me more time to prepare my mind, prepare my body. I'm gonna be different. While you over there playing games and wanna, the little games, I'm gonna have your ass in that bitch crying. I'm gonna have your ass in that hurting. I don't care what they say. This is the time. This is my moment. This ain't about Brian Castano. This is about the Charlo.
Unhinged. It's here.
Brian, obviously,
I love the
Mel,
Charlos.
Questions maybe the bicep injury that you had. He feels that you giving him extra time to prepare for you, but you also told the media, Brian, I don't.
Where's Tony Harrison when you need him?
This time, and I promise you, I won't on May 14th. Tell us why you believe that you can stop Jermell Charlo this time.
Bueno, Brian, Charlo cree que lo dejaste con vida de alguna manera, que lo dejaste tener esta segunda oportunidad para demostrar que vos no vas a tener una chance contra él. Pero vos también dijiste que esta vez no vas a dejar que los jueces decidan esta pelea y que vos lo vas a noquear. ¿Por qué? ¿Qué te hace pensar, qué te hace sentirte tan confiado de que vas a lograr que la pelea termine antes de la campana final?
Porque lo necesito. Es la pelea que para reivindicarme, para demostrarle que le gané limpiamente, y esta vez tengo que noquearlo. Yo estoy peleando, yo soy visitante, estoy peleando en su país, peleé en su casa, y en su casa toda la gente vio que le gané, y es más, toda la gente me alentó a mí, gran mayoría, casi la mitad, más de la mitad del estadio estaba alentándome a mí, diciendo que yo, un extranjero, me hice local en su propia casa, pero él dice que me va a noquear, que es más fuerte, que lo demuestre. Yo lo voy a estar esperando, yo hago mi trabajo. Y la rotura del bíceps son cosas que pasan, pueden pasar en el sparring, en el día a día, en el trabajo duro, porque realmente llevamos nuestro cuerpo al máximo. Pero lo que estuvo mal es andar hablando mierda, porque habló mierda diciendo que yo pospuse la pelea porque quería más tiempo. Yo no necesito tiempo para ganarle. No necesito tomar drogas para ganarle. No necesito nada extra para ganarle a este. Yo le gano tranquilamente y él sabe que le voy a ganar. Y que quiera noquear, que quiera tirar, a mí no me importa.
Oh, this cat giving a whole speech.
Y él sabe que le va a doler, va a sufrir.
Watch the translator gonna fuck it up.
Okay, we'll do this in two parts, the knockout part and the injury part. As far as the knockout, I want it, I need it, I crave it. Because it's my chance to redeem myself and show that I had won that first fight outright. I should have won it outright. And look, I went into his home city and I turned the crowd against him. More than half the people inside that stadium were rooting for me, the foreigner, instead of the hometown kid. Is that, you're talking shit, and I really don't appreciate that, because I don't need to cheat or take drugs or anything of the sort. I don't need more time to face you. What I can do is go out there and do my job, but I did not need any more time or to make up anything to face you.
Oh,
Okay.
shit.
Mel, let me go to you. If you win this fight, it will be just a few days before your birthday. Nonetheless, it would make you undisputed and, without a doubt, one of the most accomplished junior middleweights of all time. What would that mean to you?
All the time. You know what I'm saying? Time. Wanting to step up to the plate, be the best, and be greater than I can ever be. Testing myself, testing my abilities, understanding my ring gentlemanship, and just standing my grounds. You know, I didn't come this far to give up. I didn't come this far to let somebody like this come beat me. I know my mistakes that I made. I paid attention very closely, and I'm gonna come capitalize on them. I'm gonna cross my T's and dot my I's. Simple as that.
Brian, before I ask you the same question, how much did that bother you to hear Jermell question your bicep injury and even allude to drug use?
Brian, ¿qué tanto te molestó que Charlo no solo haya cuestionado
How's everybody doing? You guys all right?
en el bíceps, sino que también haya alegado
I'm
que
here.
te dopaste? Lo acabas de decir, que te molestó, pero ¿qué fue lo que más te hirió quizás de esas acusaciones?
La verdad que no me sorprende porque él es la clase de persona que es él. Él siempre trata de ensuciar a todos los peleadores que se enfrenta, a todos los trata de cheater, los trata a todos de tramposo, a todos. Esto es así, yo creo que la inseguridad de él necesita a toda esa gente que le diga, oh, you're the champion, you're the best, y eso es lo que él necesita. Y también ensuciar a los otros peleadores. A mí, la verdad, me molesta la poca... el poco respeto hacia el deportista que tiene. Son cosas que pasan, una lesión puede pasar y se puede posponer la pelea. ¿Por qué yo tendría que tener más tiempo o necesitaría más tiempo para ganarle a él? La primera pelea fue una pelea cerrada, pero él sabe que se la gané. Y la segunda pelea va a ser peor, porque lo voy a noquear, y él sabe que va a ser una pelea dura. Y realmente molesta la forma que lo hace nomás. Que siempre tiene que andar diciendo que él es el mejor y que todos hacen trampa, no soporta eso. Realmente es lo único que me molestó. Después, nada más.
Did it bother me? Yes. Did it surprise me? No, because that's the kind of person that he is. He's trying to mask his own insecurities, the constant need to be told that, oh, you're the champion, you're the best, look at how great you are, by trying to attack others. And the thing that bothered me the most, really, was the sheer lack of respect for a colleague, another athlete. I don't need more time to be here. Injuries happen. So what I want is just the respect that I'm warranted, that I should be given. And the first fight was a close one. The second one is going to be even worse for him because I'm going to knock him out.
Hired his translator for everything. He's the
Brian,
best
let me follow
translator
up on that.
ever.
What would it mean to you to win this fight, become the undisputed champion at 154? And listen, you go down in the record books as one of the most accomplished in this division. Martin, can you give the translation, please?
Oh, yeah, no, sorry. I didn't know that was for Brian. My bad. ¿Qué significaría para vos ser el campeón indiscutido de la división? El estar en el panteón de los grandes como campeón indiscutido, el primero de la historia de las 154 libras.
Seguro, obviamente. Uno siempre en el boxeo quiere hacer historia y quiere demostrar, ¿no?, que es uno de los mejores de su categoría, del mundo, estar entre los mejores libra por libra, que es algo que cualquier peleador de la élite del boxeo querría, pero para mí son peleas tras peleas que uno tiene que ir ganando, y el que se me ponga enfrente, sea Charlo, sea el que sea, vamos a tratar de dejar todo para
Yeah, we're going to talk after the press conference.
y demostrarle también a la gente que acá tiene un guerrero que siempre va a dar que hablar, nada más que eso.
It's what every fighter dreams of, right? What every fighter sets out to do. You start building your legacy brick by brick, fight by fight, and then you get the opportunity and you gotta make the most of it because they don't come along often. And I want to show the people out there in Los Angeles and around the world that I'm a warrior and I'm out there to be a winner and to provide the fight that people want to see.
Mel, you heard Brian kind of allude to this. The rematch is in California. It's at Dignity Health Sports Park there. And listen, that venue has had some magical fights there, but it's not in Texas like the last one was. What are your thoughts of now fighting in California at Dignity? And, they do have a large Argentinian contingent there in that area.
I fought that before. I'm not worried about no crowd. He know when he in there with me, it's just me and him. We done this before, but I'm telling you, I'm a evolved Jamel Charlo. I'm a much better focus, ready to go animal, just like straight up. Like it don't matter if the crowd. I've been there before. I fought that before. I fought all over the world. Like, you know what I'm saying? I got 37 fights already. That's just behind me. You got to worry about that when you're 17-0. When you're 17 or something, like you got to worry about where you fight and all the crowd, and that's the problem with him now. He let them people tell him, "Oh, you won that fight." Why? Because I didn't knock you out. Oh, because I hurt you 2 times and had you wobbling all over the ring, but I didn't knock you out. So they say you won. So that's his mindset. They got him thinking, "Oh, okay, he stood in there. Yeah, you can fight. Everybody a warrior. I'm a warrior. You're a warrior. But let's see who's gonna take that shit this time."
Brian, listen, last time you did fight in Charlo's backyard. Now you're fighting in California.
Houston, my backyard. Houston is my backyard. San Antonio is a Hispanic city. That ain't my backyard. That's another city. But Texas is Texas, period. I represent Texas all over. But Houston is my backyard. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Let's keep it understood.
Absolutely. But now, Brian, you get the opportunity to fight there. In California, you have a large Argentinian contingent that is in that area. How much does that motivate you going into this rematch?
Ahora vas a pelear en Los Ángeles, Brian, y como pudiste escuchar, Germán dice que está acostumbrado a pelear donde sea. Pero vos, sabiendo que seguramente va a haber un montón de argentinos copando la tribuna, cantando y alentándote, ¿qué tanto te motiva el saber que vas a tener a un contingente importante de tus compatriotas ahí?
Realmente a mí no, la gente no me importa. Siempre fui de visitante a pelear a todos lados, sean 10 personas, sean 3, sean 100. A mí no me importa, realmente no me hace la diferencia. Yo voy a hacer mi trabajo y por más que vaya 20.000 personas a gritar lo que griten, yo voy a hacer mi trabajo y nada más. Realmente no me cambia, porque realmente estoy focalizado en lo que quiero hacer, en mi futuro, en la pelea. Ahora está adelante mío y lo voy a bajar.
Hey, what are you doing? Make sure you like the video and subscribe. Thanks for watching.
Sea Charlo, sea cualquiera. Porque estoy focalizado en mi pelea y lo que voy a hacer. Habló de más y se lo voy a hacer pagar el 14 de mayo.
The crowd really isn't the factor for me. While I appreciate the support, it's all about me and him inside the ring. And I promise you, I'm gonna make him pay for everything that he has said and everything that happened in the first fight. I'm gonna break him. I'm gonna make him suffer, and that's all that matters. It doesn't matter if it's in front of 1, 2, 300, or 20,000 people. What I have my sights set on is him and only him. Me and him inside the ring. That's all.
Mel, your response to that? He as he talked about, he feels like
that was some dark shit right there.
You said about him,
straight sinister.
You just give me your response to that.
I don't have no response. That's what they want me to do. They want me to be quiet. They don't want me to talk. You're okay, Brian Castano. Okay. We will see.
Let me ask you this here before we get to the media. Listen, your division is phenomenal. You have so many really good fighters there, guys who've kind of stepped up to the forefront, whether it be Fundora, Tim Tszyu has kind of entered it. Where do you see the winner, Mel, being the undisputed champ? Do you defend the belts and stay at 154, or after becoming undisputed, would you move up?
I don't care. I just want to get this fight right here out the way. I want to show the world that it's a reason why the Charlo twins and the Jamel Charlo and why I'm where I'm at, why I'm one of the top dogs. I've been doing this way longer than this dude. I don't care if he been somewhere fighting over there. He never really ran into this brother right here. And when he see what I mean by that, he'll find out May 14th. I'm not going to say nothing. I'm going to let him keep on thinking that it's okay. And cool, yeah, try. All right, we'll see.
Brian, last question for you. What do you see the champion, you win this fight, be undisputed. Do you stay at 154, defend the belts, or do you move up?
Brian, si ganás el título indiscutido, tenés los 4 cinturones, ¿qué pensarías hacer? ¿Preferirías quedarte en la división, defender los cinturones, o subir de división y buscar otro desafío?
Bueno, que nada, hay que pensar en esta pelea, ganar esta pelea, y ganando esta pelea, yo creo que nunca vas a poder defender los 4 cinturones. Tenés muchos retadores y el tiempo no te va a dar. Creo que se harán alguna que otra pelea con los nombres que la gente quiera, que la afición quiera, y después a trabajar. Creo que primero hay que pensar en esta pelea, y después lo que venga será bienvenido. Hay que darle a la pelea lo que pide la gente.
What's up?
Lo que pide la gente
What's up, Camelo?
será dado.
Damn, why you gotta be gay?
So, first of all, let's stay focused on the moment. I can't look past this fight. Gotta win this fight.
Not saying that there's
Then,
anything wrong with that.
if
If that's
when
your
I
shit.
become undisputed, yes, I would say that, defending the 4 belts is an almost impossible challenge because there are, first of all, too many challengers and there's not enough time. So if I become undisputed, I will just say that I will go up against anybody that the public wants and please the crowd with whichever opponents they want to see me fight against in the future.
Well, listen, I know there are a number of members of the media who want to talk to you guys, so let's get right to some of their questions. Andrew Roberts is with us from Swanson Communications. Listen, members of the media, hit the raise your hand icon there on your Zoom. Andrew will acknowledge you, and then you can unmute yourself and ask the questions to either champion or both, whether it be Jermell or Brian. So, Andrew, if you would, take it away.
Thanks very much, Brian. Really appreciate it. Our first question will come from Keith Idek at Boxing Scene. Keith, please unmute yourself. You can ask your question.
Yes, I have questions for both Jermell and Brian. I'd like to start with Jermell. Jermell, he said your chin has obviously been one of your greatest strengths throughout your run here. He said he was going to knock you out. I was just wondering if you could maybe assess his power, having been in the ring 12 rounds with him, and maybe how it compares to some of the other fighters that you fought.
I can't speak on his power. That's not important to me right now. Like I don't care about his power. I don't care if he's stronger. I don't care about none of that. It's about skills, and we're gonna show that on the 14th. I don't care about assessing someone's power. Oh, he this and this and that. I don't know. I've been hit with hard punches in that.
Have you gone back and watched the fight several times?
Yes. I studied this time.
What did you think? The scores were all over the place, obviously. What did you think was a fair score after watching it a few times yourself?
I won the fight, period. Never letting him down on my side. I hurt him way more. He made an edge a few rounds. I won the end of the fight, won the beginning, the first couple of rounds. I don't know what y'all talking about. Simple as that. Y'all go watch him fight. Did y'all go back and watch that fight and study round by round? What you think? Ask him.
I will. I just have one more question for you. Confidence has never been an issue for you, obviously, but how much more comfortable does it make it for you that you've been down this road before? You fought Tony Harrison the first time, then you came back and knocked him out. How much more comfortable does that make you going into this rematch, having been down that road?
I know what I'm about.
What's going on, Flash?
In the ring. I'm comfortable.
Waiting for that fight announcement, bro.
Through the storm. I was built for this. I was bred for this. This is not just some old jump. I'm made for this. So I'm comfortable enough to be in this.
Thanks, Jermell. Brian, the same question to you.
What up, DJ? We're going to talk after the press conference.
What do you think was the score of the 12-round fight?
Brian, me imagino que has vuelto y has estudiado la pelea que tuviste contra Charlo. En tu opinión, ¿cuál hubiese sido un puntaje justo, considerando que los puntajes estuvieron de un lado para el otro, no tuvieron una sintonía, que digamos? Entonces, Charlo cree que él ganó la pelea, no importa el puntaje. ¿Vos qué puntaje le hubieses dado a esa pelea?
Bueno, yo creo que la pelea la gané por 2 puntos. Si me dan un punto, no hay problema, porque algún que otro round ha sido parejo. Creo que en el 11 habrá sacado una diferencia, pero la pelea para mí se la gané por 1 o 2 puntos. Realmente no me gusta puntuar ni nada, pero la pelea obviamente que la vi completa, la sigo viendo. Obviamente uno tiene que ir chequeando preparándose para la siguiente pelea, ¿no?
I saw the entire fight from beginning to end too. I studied as well, and I think that I won by 1 or 2 points because the fight was close, but I was clutch enough to make the difference in those key moments where I thought I should have come out with the win.
My last question is for Brian. Could you just detail how you injured your arm in training, how much time you had to take off, and when you came back to training, you knew that you'd be able to move forward with the fight on May 14th?
¿Qué pasó? ¿Cómo te lesionaste? ¿Cómo fue que te lesionaste el bíceps? ¿Cómo te afectó la inactividad y cómo has vuelto al ruedo en el entrenamiento?
Bueno, realmente me lo lesioné en un sparring, con un sparring, un amigo que siempre me ayuda en el gimnasio acá en el Knockout Boxing. Nada, fue un desgarro en el bíceps y nada, estuve parado un mes. Estuve parado casi un mes en tratamiento mientras Charlo decía que que necesitaba más tiempo, que estaba consumiendo drogas para ponerme más fuerte, para bajar, no sé. Mientras él hablaba mierda, yo me estaba recuperando el brazo.
I'm gonna leave the scorecards up for a few minutes for those who want to read it.
Demostrando que fue así. Pero realmente, sí, me afectó en la preparación, obviamente. Necesitaba más tiempo, por eso se fue estirando, pero realmente lo rehabilité muy bien. Ya lo tengo bien fuerte. Gracias a Dios estoy esparreando duro y ya está bien curado. Así que nada, estoy contento porque estamos trabajando y venimos muy bien para la pelea.
The injury happened during a sparring session with an old friend of mine that always helps me out. I just plain old tore my bicep, and I had to be, I had to stop everything for a month while Charlo was talking shit and saying that I was doping, that I was trying to become stronger through other means, and all I was doing was trying to recover. I have the extras, I have everything to prove that was the case. And now, coming back from that, I'm so happy because everything has been going swimmingly. Everything has been going really well. The sparring sessions have been outstanding, and I feel better than ever before May 14th.
All right. Thank you for those questions, Keith. Our next question is going to come from James Bell with the Boxing Source. James, please unmute yourself and you can ask your question.
All right. Thanks, Andrew. 2 questions, one for Jamel and one for Brian. Jamel, Showtime Sports president Stephen Espinoza was saying that you were like one of the more exciting fighters out there in the 154-pound division, and that you should be appreciated for what you've been doing there at 154. Kind of like going to that in your legacy at 154, and if you get this win, how that could like put you there as far as like being a Hall of Famer, as mentioned on Saturday.
If I'm gonna be on the Hall of Fame, it's gonna be legacy fights like this one, and I look forward for it. I appreciate Stephen Espinoza for giving recognition for when it's due and giving flowers when they be deserved. But I don't create these lists. I don't make out these rules. I just fight. You know what I'm saying? So becoming a Hall of Fame is obviously my moment, and these are the moments right now.
And my question for Brian Castano. I know that you have this fight coming up on May 14th, but it seems like there was, the delay for the fight that was originally scheduled on March 19th, but also the previous year, like immediately after the first fight, it seemed like, the fight couldn't materialize during 2021. Kind of like going to, if possible, why the fight could not happen in 2021.
Well, you mean like why the first fight happened later in the year? What's the question? Because it happened in July. So what's the What's the question as far as why it could happen earlier?
No, my question is, the first fight happened in July 2021. Why is it that it couldn't have happened like in late 2021, and it had to be pushed to at least March 2022 initially?
The first fight against Charlo, you mean, or against another opponent?
The first fight against Charlo.
Okay, so why couldn't it happen earlier? That's the question.
Right, yeah. Why couldn't it happen, between like November, December of 2021?
You mean the rematch? Okay.
Correct.
So it's okay. Sorry, I was trying to understand the question fully to translate it accurately. Bueno, Brian, la pregunta es, ¿por qué la revancha contra Charlo no pudo haberse disputado como en diciembre del 2021? ¿Por qué se tardó, obviamente, primero hasta marzo y ahora hasta mayo del 2022? ¿Hubo algún factor o era simplemente el calendario?
No, simplemente el calendario, obviamente. Se ve que él estaba después de la pelea, a la primera semana, a la segunda semana se puso a entrenar de vuelta para pelear en diciembre. Realmente era algo que él quería, pero esto se arregla entre las dos partes. Y por eso arreglamos para pelear en febrero, ¿fue, no? Así que nada, pero bueno, después vino la lesión. Pero yo no voy a pelear cuando él quiera. Esto se tiene que arreglar entre las dos partes y concordar una fecha que le quede bien a los dos. Pero bueno, peleas son peleas. Ahora, por algo se estiró para esta fecha. Realmente tardó mucho tiempo, pero bueno, así son las peleas grandes y hay que esperar a que mayo 14.
It was just a matter of scheduling, nothing more than that. I know that Charlo wanted December. It was something that he wanted, but it takes both sides to come to an agreement. And we had come to the agreement to fight in March, which wasn't that far away from December anyway. Then the injury happened, and now we're fighting on May 14th, where that's what happens with big fights. It takes a little give and take. It takes negotiations. The important thing is that it's gonna happen, and that we're gonna wow the crowd on May 14th.
All right, thank you, James. Our next question is going to come from Erica Montoya with Millennial. Erica, please unmute yourself and you can ask your question.
Hi, good evening to everyone. My question is from Brian Castano. Brian, me gustaría saber qué aprendiste de la primera pelea con Jermell y cuáles son los puntos débiles que vas a explotar para esta segunda contienda.
Brian, si quieres responder y después lo traduzco.
Ok. No, creo que no voy a andar diciendo de las estrategias de pelea. Creo que ya vimos sus ventajas, sus desventajas y estamos trabajando en eso. Realmente es cuestión ahora de hacer nuestro trabajo que venimos haciendo todo este campamento en base a la primera pelea. Hay muchos errores que corregimos y venimos trabajando para que la pelea no llegue a los dos asaltos.
The question from Erica was, what did you learn? What lessons did you learn from the first fight? And what weaknesses do you plan to exploit from Charlo? And Brian replied that I'm not about to, expose my strategy right now, but trust me, I have been studying him closely. I have been training really hard and really well to, exploit the weaknesses that everybody saw in that first fight. Everybody saw what his strengths were in that first fight as well. It's not really a secret. So we have been training to be making sure that the fight doesn't reach 12 rounds and that we can come out victorious before the final bell rings.
Thank you, Erica. Our next question is going to come from Cole Winston with Boxing World Weekly. Cole, please unmute yourself. You can ask your question. You there, Cole? All right, we'll move on to the next one. Our next question is going to come from Cesar Seda. Cesar, please unmute yourself and you can ask your question.
César Seda por aquí, América TV, Decisión Dividida. Brian, ¿cómo tú estás? La pregunta es la siguiente. Hay una pregunta que hay que hacer acerca de tu salud. Sabemos que no fue hace mucho tiempo que se anunció sobre tu lesión del bíceps. Sabemos que a veces estas lesiones se tardan en curar o en ser para un combate. Normalmente unos meses. Una lesión parecida la tuvo Jordanis Ugas luego de su última con Pacquiao y recuperó. Tuvo su operación también. La pregunta es simple. ¿estás al 100% para este combate el próximo mayo 14?
Por supuesto que sí, por supuesto que sí. Me ha tardado, ese mes que tuve parado, fue ese mes de rehabilitación, donde yo dejé de entrenar entrenaba con una sola mano, solamente con la izquierda, y en la derecha hacía la rehabilitación necesaria para sanarlo. Y gracias a Dios por nuestra condición física y realmente nos rehabilitamos bastante rápido. Lo único que aquí en Estados Unidos no te dicen de cuántos centímetros el desgarro, pero era grande. Pero realmente sanó rápido. Yo creo que tiene que ver también el organismo de cada uno, el metabolismo, la alimentación, las vitaminas, creo que todo también tiene mucho que ver, ¿no? Gracias a Dios nos recuperamos rápido y nada, estamos trabajando duro para eso. Hoy en día estoy esparreando lo más normal posible, gracias a Dios, fuerte y no tengo ningún tipo de dolor. Gracias a Dios, voy a estar al 100 para la pelea, para dejar todo.
Otra pregunta.
Déjame traducir esta. So the question was whether Brian is at 100% after his biceps injury, considering that it can be tough to rehab that kind of injury, but there is the precedent of Ugas having fought Pacquiao and then recovering to fight Spence with ample time to train. Brian was saying that absolutely I'm 100%, and I am really happy with the way that everything developed. I was away from being able to use my right hand, my right arm, really, for a month. I could only train with my left arm while I rehabbed my right arm. Here in the US, they don't really tell you how long of a tear it is, but trust me, it was a really long one, and thank God that I was able to heal quickly. And you know, I truly give props to the way that my conditioning is. Nutrition, such a big key. The nutrition, the vitamins that we take, and the way that we are able to be in shape, I truly believe that helped a lot in the healing process. Go ahead, Cesar, with the next question.
Hold on. We're going to move on here.
Okay.
Thank you for that, Cesar. Our next question is going to come from Keenan Atchison with Tunnel Vision Sports. Keenan, please unmute yourself. You can ask your question.
Thank you. My first question is for Jamel. With the postponement of the first, with this upcoming rematch, since it was supposed to take place, I know you say you went back and watched the tape. When you went back and watched it again during the postponement, were there things that you didn't pick up the first time you watched the fight? Little things that you may have missed the first go round that you were able to pick up on?
Yeah, I seen a few things that I should have done better, and it's in me. What's crazy is those things are naturally in me. They're instilled in me. So it's like, why didn't I sharpen those tools and go back to these tools and all this other? But, we'll see. We'll go when we want, you'll see on the 14th. So for sure, those things I'm better at now.
And also, last question is for both of you guys. At 140, 150, 154, no man has ever held all four of the titles. What does it mean for both of you guys for your legacy?
I need it. I need it. It's a need. You can't go to God without having something you need. You ain't nobody. I need that.
Brian, ¿qué significaría para vos el ser el primer campeón indiscutido de la división de las 154 libras y por qué es algo que anhelás tanto? Charlo acaba de decir, es algo que necesita, es algo que anhela. ¿Y vos por qué sentís que anhelás esta distinción?
Yo creo que es el sueño de todo peleador, de todo boxeador, llegar a ser campeón de los 4 cinturones. Es un sueño para todos. Creo que no cualquiera unifica, y esta es la posibilidad. Y realmente uno en la cúspide de su carrera, en su mejor momento, quiere demostrar y pelear con los mejores.
You will be making a dream come true, simple as that. And then when you're at the prime of your career and you have a chance like this, you better seize it. You better not let it go because it doesn't come around often. Being undisputed is not just for anybody. So when you're in that position to be a chosen one in this sport, you better take advantage of it, and I plan to do so.
All right. Thank you for that, Keenan. Next up, Diego Maria with ringtv.com. Diego, please unmute yourself and you can ask your question.
I have a question. As you can see, my hand
Hello,
is raised.
everyone. This question is for both fighters. I'm going to ask it in both languages. In the first fight, you both got a taste of each other's power and boxing skills. It was a fight that had a lot going in every department. With all that knowledge that you acquired from each other, how hard did you have to work on a new game plan for a rematch? And especially, how much of that game plan are you neglecting by betting on a knockout? La pregunta, Brian, es en la
I
primera
feel
pelea,
Brian Custer. He looked tired as hell.
los dos probaron la potencia y la habilidad del otro, ¿no? Fue una pelea que tuvo mucho en todos los departamentos. Con todo ese conocimiento, ¿qué tantos cambios o qué tanto tuviste que trabajar para un nuevo plan de pelea en la revancha? ¿Y cuánto de eso estás negando o estás dejando de lado para apostar todo al knockout?
Yo creo que el knockout viene solo. El knockout viene solo en base al trabajo que uno hace, ¿no? Creo que
It's about 10, 15 minutes or so left, if that.
muy fuerte, como en todos los campamentos, yo siempre trabajo muy fuerte, trato de dejar el 100 en cada entrenamiento y nada, peleas son peleas, esto es así, uno va a dejar el 100% arriba del ring y va a dar todo. Obviamente que el knockout viene solo. Es así, yo voy a trabajar, voy a hacer mi trabajo, si se cae antes del 12, bien, si no lo voy a moler a palo los 12 rounds, es así.
Okay, Jermel?
No, but what is translated? I ain't hear what he said.
Oh, yeah, I asked the question in English first. Basically, with all the knowledge that
I was sorry, I was going to
gained from
translate.
both-
No,
I'm sorry.
yeah,
I'm sorry. Yeah.
no, it's okay. The knockout comes on its own, really, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to knock him out before the 12 rounds are over, and if that doesn't happen, then I'm just gonna beat him up for 12 rounds. So it's really about not forcing the knockout, letting things flow, and I'm gonna fight the way I know how to fight for 12 rounds. Go ahead, Jermel.
Hey, it's like all we got to do is just listen to our team, stick with our coaches, and we focus. You know what I'm saying? And the knockout gonna come. For me, I don't got to try for stuff like that. I'm with you. They need to be worried about me knocking him the fuck out. Like they worried about him knocking me out. He gonna see get run into a trap, and you'll understand that by later. We'll talk about that after the fight.
Thank you, Diego. Our last question is going to come from Terrell Van with Fight V360. Terrell, you can unmute yourself. Please ask your question.
Can you hear me?
No sé ni lo que dijo. Traducime.
¿Qué cosa?
Can you guys hear me?
Que lo dijo Jermel. Ok, que lo que dijo Jermel es que el knockout que él tampoco va a buscar el knockout, que él va a hacer su pelea y que va a demostrar dentro del ring de lo que es capaz. ¿Le querés responder algo o no? O simplemente vamos a la próxima pregunta.
Que no lo demostró en la primera pelea, que necesita pelea y pelea para ir demostrando cosas.
Look, Charlo, to what you just said, you didn't show what you just said in the first fight. So let's see what happens in the second fight, because what you were just saying about the knockout and everything, you really didn't show it in that first fight.
He hit me with a good shot in the third round. Never put me down, but I had him bagging up. Thought he was a relentless guy. It's okay. We're going to prove what we talking about when it comes down to May 14. We're going to see. We're going to see if you're going to be that guy that knocked Jamel Charlo out. Okay? We're going to see. We understand that we hear you. You didn't knock me out in the fucking fight either. So what you talking about?
Vos tampoco me noqueaste, así que no sé de qué estás hablando.
Who got hurt more?
Sorry.
Who got hurt more? Ask him that. Who got hurt for real?
¿Quién sufrió más daño en esa pelea, Brian? ¿Quién fue el que sufrió más durante los 12 rounds? Y yo no creo que vos fuiste el que sufrió más, que tuviste un buen golpe en el tercer round, pero que no lo tumbaste tampoco de una manera decisiva, que vos tampoco te pudiste pudiste dominar de la manera en que querías y que él en realidad te hizo más daño de lo que vos le hiciste a él.
Solo 3 rounds. Only 2 rounds.
Yeah.
I hit you 9.
9, nigga, third. 9
¿Está diciendo que,
yeah.
¿Está diciendo que lo vas a
3?
noquear en el tercer round?
Yeah.
No.
Good shot. Okay, good shot with it.
Le pegué 9 rounds. 9 rounds le pegué. Y él sabe que 9 rounds
11
perdió.
rounds, 12 rounds, he was almost out of there too. 11 round and 12 round.
He's saying that he hit you hard for 9 rounds and that you barely hit him for 2 or 3 round stops. That he was dominating the fight for over 2/3 of it.
He didn't win all of them rounds. Then that means he would have won the fight if I only won 2 rounds.
You think I should throw some gas?
Él dice que vos ganaste 2 rounds nada más. Que, o sea, si no, pues hubiese ganado la pelea.
You didn't want to fight then.
¿Qué pelea viste? No sé qué pelea vio. Él sigue viendo la pelea y él la sigue viendo ganador. Yo no entiendo. No entiendo qué pelea ve.
I don't know what kind of fight you saw. I don't know how you can see the fight through rose-colored glasses and still see yourself the winner, because I truly don't get it. I don't know what fight you're seeing where you see yourself winning so clearly in that first fight.
I tell you what,
I'm done talking. This nigga ain't even
Yeah,
speaking. I'm done talking.
hey, look, this is great. This is why you got to have a rematch of this magnitude. 2 great champions who are going to prove who's the best at 154, and it comes your way May 14th on Showtime Championship Boxing. Guys, as we wrap this up, I want to thank all the members of the media for jumping in. I always like to give guys just one last opportunity. Brian, we'll start with you. We'll wrap this up. Give members of the media and everyone watching, give us a reason why we need to be tuned in to Showtime Championship Boxing on May 14th.
Decinos, Brian, por qué la gente no se puede perder esta pelea el 14 de mayo por Showtime en Los Ángeles, que vayan a la cancha, que sintonicen por Showtime. ¿Por qué no se la pueden perder?
I'll tell you my question after.
Como dije en la primera pelea, esta pelea va a ser una guerra. Tanto él como yo vamos a dejar todo arriba del ring. Yo hablo por mí, ¿no? Pero yo voy a dejar todo, voy a tratar de conquistar las 4 coronas y a eso voy, a dar una guerra, como siempre lo hago en cada pelea. No se la pueden perder porque es una pelea electrizante.
You don't want to miss it because it's going to be an electrifying fight. It's going to be a war. I can only speak for myself, but I'm going in there to come out with 4 belts. That's going to be the objective, and you're not going to want to miss this all-out war where we're both going to go for it all.
Unified champ, give you the final word here. Let the people know why they need to be tuned in to Showtime Championship Boxing on May 14th.
I know I'm on a whole nother level, and I know that I'm going to present myself when it's time. May 14th, I'm going to peak at the right time. I'm going to be ready. I'm going to be nothing that he could do, nothing he going to say. Let the people stay in your ear. They your champions, because they ain't never boxed. Those people that's in here, they ain't got hit by me. I'm going to be dangerous. I'm going to be dangerous. Simple as that. I'm going to be that Jamel Charlo.
Folks, it goes down May 14th, Showtime Championship Boxing, a 3-fight card. You've got Boo Sinnott, Castillo Clayton. It's the co-main event. Emmanuel Rivera taking on Kevin Gonzalez. That'll kick things off at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific time. But then you have the main event. To be undisputed at 154, the winner will be the first undisputed champion at 154 in this 4-belt era, and it comes down to the unbeaten Brian Castano, 17-0-2 out of Buenos Aires, Argentina, taking on Houston's very own Iron Man, the unified champ, Jermell Charlo.
From the USA. From the USA.
From the WBA, the WBC, the IBF world champion, and of course, you know, his trainer is Derek James. Listen, one of the best trainers in boxing, who just coming off a victory against your Dennis Ugas. It should be an electric night there in California at the Dignity Health Sports Park. You can get your tickets at AXS.com. AXS.com. It's being promoted by Lions Only Promotions and, of course, TGB Promotions. Gentlemen, best of luck on May 14th. Can't wait to see both of you warriors in the ring. We want to thank everybody for joining us here on this press conference. We will see you May 14th in California.
Man, They gypped me. They gypped me. They gypped me. It was a scam. They scammed me. They silenced me. They didn't want to hear the truth. They didn't want to hear my question. They knew I had the gasoline ready. I was going to ask, it wasn't really too much of it ignited. Isn't that what you call it? What is it called? It's not ignited. What do you call like anyway, I had the gasoline. So I was going to ask, this is for both fighters. Castano first. How are you feeling at the weight, and how long do you plan to stay at 154? It was a two-part question. You see what I'm saying? So first, basically what I'm trying to find out is who was going to move up, because normally you become undisputed. You know, they like, all right, I did everything I had to do in the division. I'm going to move up in weight. I don't have to worry about cutting back down to this weight no more. You see what I'm saying? So I was going to be like, you know, and the potential winner of Spence versus Crawford, I didn't write that part down, is also likely going to be moving up to 154 if it's not a 2-fight deal. So that's where I was going with it. And I wanted, let me tell y'all. Did I ever tell y'all the story about how Jamal Charlo sent me to hell in Brooklyn? I told the story 100 times. So 2019, I went to the most between fall of 2018 and the fall of, excuse me, sorry, a little high. Between the fall of 2018 and before the country shut down COVID, about March or so, 2020, I was supposed to be at Shakur Stevenson versus Miguel Mariaga. Well, anyway, accelerate. Here you go. Well, anyway, so I was going to a lot of fights. I was in New York a lot. I'm talking about ringside and shit. Like I like T Street, Fight View 360. Like we accomplished a dream. We finally had made it. For years, people were saying, you know, these promoters and these media people ain't gonna never let you in and yada, 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 and yeah. So anyway, we had hit the big time, you know, and then COVID, I just like, you know what? I mean, I'm kind of a recluse, social anxiety. I didn't really want to go to any events anymore. You know, I got to get to a fight. We did have Big J in Australia. We also got, I got to call Donnell tomorrow, definitely. We also got credentials in for about 4 fights. I think we're going to be at Tank versus Rolly, Canelo versus Bivol, and I have a very good relationship with Matchroom and PBC. So, you know, long as I just go there to do my job, I'm not in there. One thing you won't find of me is any pictures or anything with any boxers. For the most part, I'm like a nervous wreck. I'm all awkward when I'm there and shit. So anyway, I'm at Charlo versus Korobov and Charlo versus Harrison. So it's the post-fight press conference, and I'm sitting in the second row. And at this point in time, the media was scared shitless of the Charlos because they'll cuss you out, you know? And it's like, well, I've been cursed out a whole lot of times in my life, but this one kind of hurt. It stung because I'm a Charlo guy. It still stings to this day. Oh, Lord Jesus. It still stings. So I'm going to play the clip. They let me have it. And they was like, and then the Texas people, the entourage, they was like, you shouldn't have asked that dumbass question, dog. And they was all giving me all these dirty ass looks. Like, I'm like, bro, is they going to fuck me up in here? I was like, yeah, I had to pull out my shiv. You know, I didn't have a knife in the Barclays Center. It's just a joke. Maybe I did. I'm not saying I did, you know? But I was like, yo, I'm gonna have to poke somebody up in this motherfucker. Like, bro, and then bitch ass Eli Sickback. Hold on, what am I doing? Yeah, like, bro, like, yeah, you know? I just be ruffling feathers sometimes. I don't be meaning to. News reporter. I don't be meaning to, man. Like, cause I'm thinking like none of these bitch ass media members are gonna ask the question that we all want to know. Cause people were like, Charlo had lost to Korobov, and they throw in all these softball questions. And I'm just looking around, you know, and I'm like, bro, he is gonna slaughter me, but I didn't know he was gonna do me like that. I didn't know he was gonna do me like that, bro. Hold on, let me find it. He did me wrong. And I wanted to scream out, like, but I'm a fan. I wanted to scream out so bad, like, Charlo, no. Oh, man, broke my heart. Broner tried to get me, too. Adrian Broner owes me $50,000. He threatened me. He said he was going to beat me up. And then he asked me where I was at in Philly in my DMs. Like, bro, what is wrong with you, stalker? Somebody he gonna come get a cheesesteak and whoop my ass. Hold up, wait, I'm looking for it. I'm sorry, I gotta find it before we go. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck is up with you dudes, man? Like, you guys gotta chill out. You Charlos. You guys gotta chill out. Live life. Jesus. Oh, let me just do it. Charlo T Street. It's right here. They're gonna get me good. Let me tell you, he was like, who are you? I was like, he's like, never heard of you. I was like, oh shit. I was like, damn, nigga, what the fuck? You gonna just stab me like that? In my heart? And then he was ice grilling me too. Like for the rest of the time.
Now I gotta look at it because I should have learned that from the trial. Back against the wall.
Able to put it out. I put him out.
That, be confused with a net. Still, the Charlos ain't.
Hold on, I gotta find the part.
Knowing that I won that fight.
Damn, I gotta find the part.
Listening to your followers.
Oh, here we go. All right, listen, this aggravates my post-traumatic stress disorder. So you gotta give me a minute. I gotta step away. Y'all can watch this, but I can't do it. It's just too painful.
Definitely not.
All right, I'm gonna let it play through. It's just too painful. I didn't deserve this.
I look at it because I should have learned that from the trial fight, knowing that they tried to give me a majority decision on that fight, knowing that I won that fight, dropped him twice, and that fight hurt this kid a lot tonight, and they still let this be what it is,
Anybody have a last question?
Here's the lore. I'm looking around like, yo, the whole energy in the room just smelled the pussy. I'm talking about it smelled of pussy. Meaning the media. It was like, why isn't nobody asking the questions we want to know? You got Jamal, just as Jamel right here. He was crying because he got robbed by against Tony Harrison. But then remember, Matvey Korobov was a late replacement. And he got robbed. We thought, even the media, we were all talking about it like, damn, Charlo lost that fight. But then once we go to the post-fight press conference, I'm like, so ain't nobody going to ask the question, huh? So you can see like my camera like shaking because I'm looking around. I'm like, ain't nobody going to motherfucking ask this nigga like the question? Like, All right, I'm going to let it play through.
In the fights, and you can look at that yourself. Will you take a more active role in that now moving forward?
Definitely not. I got to look at it because I should have learned that from the trial fight, knowing that they tried to give me a majority decision on that fight, knowing that I won that fight, dropped him twice, and that fight hurt this kid a lot tonight, and they still let this be what it is,
Anybody have a last question?
Jamal, you're probably going to be upset, but social media is saying you lost the fight. What can you do to fix this? Yeah?
I lost the fight too? Social media?
No, I'm saying. I'm asking the question though.
Yeah. What's your social media?
T Street Controversy, 5u360.com.
Never seen it before. Think about it, man.
I'm keeping it real, brother.
You're not. You listening to your followers and your fan base. Come on, man. Watch out with that. Next question. Some more questions out there.
Let me tell you, everybody all looking and laughing and shit, like, but it was like that scared laugh, like, and I'm looking like, oh, you people are animals. Ain't nobody gonna back me up? Like, damn. I was never the same. I've never been the same. I've never been the same.
Question for Derek James. Do you think this can make Jamel a better fighter, even though, obviously everyone thinks he won the fight?
That's how it works, though. See, that's how it works, though. You think he was hurt? How you think I feel? Shit, But anyway, moving on. And it's like, yo, all I'm doing is I'm trying to ask the questions that the people want to know, Anyway, let's get back to Jamel. 34-1-1 with 18 KOs. To be honest, I don't remember if I had him winning the fight. Let me go look at the title of my video. That's how I jog my memory on who I had winning the fight. Charlo Castano. Oh, wait, hold on. Let's see. Who did I have winning this sucker? I had it a draw. No, wait. Who did I have winning? Robbery, exposed. Who did I have winning? I'm going to mute. We're here real time, midnight, 12:02 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I need to start shaving more. The question is, on your card, did Jermell Charlo, WBC, WBA Super, IBF, and Ring Magazine 154-pound champion, did he need the last 4 rounds to win the fight to you? On my card, now I do admit it was some rounds I was just so enthralled, like into it, I wasn't really scoring. But oh well, there you go. That tells you I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I gotta go watch the fight again. I wonder who the people had winning. Let's see from the comments. So basically, popular opinion was that Charlo lost that fight. And the question I have is, who do you think has the better chance of improving in the rematch? Who overall has the better chance of improving in the rematch? Now, Castano, it's the same, because Charlo said during the media call is that he's not the type of fighter that you want to give a second chance to. Well, when you have a pressure fighter, like Castano, you don't want to give somebody like him a second chance. Also, I do remember now, when Charlo was boxing and keeping the fight in the middle of the ring, he was having success. He kept allowing Castano, the smaller man, he's about, Charlo is easily, he's definitely 6 foot. As I said, I met him before. He's definitely 6 foot. And believe it or not, I didn't show you any other clips. I got a good relationship with Jermell Charlo. With Jamal Charlo, the blood is bad. As you can see, it's bad blood. So I think we have like sort of a delicate truce, because it's been going on for a while. It started at Charles Hatley versus Charlo, Jermell Charlo, where they thought I was Team Hatley. I wasn't. It's just that we was wearing the same colors, and I just so happened to be standing over there. So I went to go interview Jamal, and he was talking to Radio Raheem. As soon as he see me walking up, he was like, "No more interviews," So the blood is bad, I'm trying to salvage it. So anyway, the question is, so once again, we're cool with Jermell. We don't want to get him pissed off. We won't stay on his good side. Don't want to get cussed out. Anyway, and that's fucked up if 2 twins don't like you, 2 brothers. It's like, that's bad juju. So I think that if Jermell stays in the middle of the ring and boxes and moves and uses his legs, he is the better boxer. However, that pressure from Castano and that right hand, that straight overhand right, is something else. Like, that shit backs you the fuck up. And I always knew he was a problem. Remember, also, arguably, Castano beat Erisland Lara. So the question I have is, do you think they're going to try to squeeze out a third fight? So let me break it down to you. We've been talking about it a lot. Me and Big J, who was at Zarafa versus Hartman in Australia yesterday. So listen, this is how it's supposed to go down. The winner of Charlo Castano, they have to either move up or fight their mandatory. It's no way around it. They have to fight this IBF mandatory, Bakary Murtazaliev. He's been fighting on dark matches. He's a main event fighter, and basically he's been getting a shitload of step-aside money. The next mandatory after that is the WBO, which is Tim Tszyu. Then the next mandatory after that is, where's he at? We got to put him up here. Interim champion Sebastian Fundora. So no matter what, they can't have a third fight unless they fight, like the winner has to fight Murtazaliev. And I think depending on how the second fight turns out, it's, a third fight, it's there, it's there, depending on if whoever wins wants it. Now, from my understanding, you can't put a rematch clause on top of a rematch clause, so I'm guessing there's not a rematch clause, maybe. I don't know. Because I want to know, like, basically, I want to see Jermell Charlo versus Terrence Crawford. Now, it's no secret that both Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, I think it's known now that they're going to be fighting sometime the second half of this year. And both of the fighters have been talking about moving up in weight for some time now. Spence is saying it more than ever, about, like getting undisputed and then basically not fighting nobody else is straight off the 154. But the thing is, Jermell would have to move up, You see what I'm saying? Or they would have to fight each other. And they're both in the same camp. So it's supposed to be, from my understanding, you know, and we haven't got a straight answer. Spence moves to 154. Charlo beats Castano in a perfect world. In their perfect world, he beat Castano, moved to 160. Jamal Charlo moves to 168. And then, of course, David Benavidez may be moving to 175. But that's going a little too far down. Now, Castano, because of his size, he would be a small 168 pounder. I mean, a small 160 pounder. So I think that he has a better chance of staying. It's a better chance of him staying at 154 than Charlo staying at 154. You see what I'm saying? But you never hear Jamel talking about weight issues. And the one that's usually always blowing up is not Jamel. You usually see Jamal is the one that carries the heftier weight. As you can see, you know, he was willing to move to 168 to fight Canelo. So that's pretty much it. The undercard is going to feature Boots Ennis versus Castillo Clayton in an IBF eliminator. I'm not sure if it's a final eliminator to make them the IBF mandatory. I believe that the winner of Ennis versus Clayton is going to be ordered to fight Virgil Ortiz, or whatever path Virgil Ortiz is going to go. And then they're probably going to go down the list to Conor Benn. Wait, what was I talking about? How did I get there? Oh, there we go. So I got Boots Ennis. Boots Ennis may even stop Clayton here. Let me pull him up real quick. And of course, you know, Showtime events. It's going to be a regular Showtime. And Floyd Mayweather's having a pay-per-view earlier that day in Dubai. I haven't even did a video. That's how you showed. I don't even give a fuck about Floyd no more in his bullshit fights. Yeah, you know, Boots should get the stoppage. I mean, Clayton's tough. Has he been down before? Doesn't show. I'm predicting that Boots probably going to stop him. Because I was not impressed with his fight against Sergey Limpinets, but I was never high on Limpinets anyway. There's going to be an IBF eliminator, and then the telecast on Showtime is going to open up with this fight: Kevin Gonzalez versus Emmanuel Riviere Nieves. Do y'all know these people? As I told you, my memory's shit, so I've probably seen these people fight before, but a lot of times, you know, I really don't be knowing. It takes, you know, so he must be something because he's opening up a big time event. But also, of course, he's not, you know, he can't be that big because he's opening up the show where you have Charlo Castano commanding a huge budget to be fighting on regular Showtime. 24-0-1 with 13 KOs, 24 years old, 122 pounder. This is his first fight in the United States. Okay, all right, we'll be paying attention to it. So I'm guessing this is maybe a Samson Lukovitz fighter. Samson is the handler of Castano. Yeah, and there you go. That's it. It's going to be in the StubHub Center in LA, or the Home Depot Center. I hate that Dignity Health Park name that they call it now. But listen, let me get up out of here. Remember tomorrow morning, and I thought yesterday was 420. So I thought that yesterday was Thursday and tomorrow's Friday. So I thought the weigh-in for Fury was today. It's not, obviously, it's on Friday. So we're going to be here in the morning for a stream, if you're going to be up early, for a stream and recap and final predictions and preview video for Tyson Fury versus Dylan White that's taking place Saturday on ESPN Plus. And I'm going to be streaming during the main event. How about that? You know, so far so good. I had some computer issues last week. As you can see, I've rebuilt my set, you know, a little bit, like with my layout. I got a whole bunch of free time on my hands. I had some legal shit I had to deal with. I'm suing a bunch of people. So the trial was supposed to be May the 24th. It's now and not until July. So I got a shitload of free time on my hands. And yeah, we're going to be doing videos. So take your time out, like the video, subscribe. I will be seeing you guys later on. And yes, I do got a video coming on MTK Global. I've been doing like some deep research, bro. I don't give a fuck about motherfucking drugs, if they selling drugs or not. I'm just saying I still got to do a video. Take your time out, like the video, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Down below in the description box, by the way, is a link to the WBC app powered by the VAZN network. It's been updated. My videos, other content creators' videos. And I've been saying for quite some time, maybe close to a year now, that I'm working on some things that get exclusive content to put on the app. But my life has been hectic as fuck right now. And yes, we are going to Haney versus Kambosos. So we got some big things in the work. We getting back out into the field again. Take your time out, like the video, subscribe, and teach through controversy with 5U360. Thanks for watching.